Emotional underlayers bring depth and realism to any story, especially those involving close relationships and fraught family dynamics, rather than leaning into sensational elements like infidelity, which can feel artificial or forced if not handled with extreme care. Grounding a story in nuanced emotion creates a far more powerful and believable narrative. For example, the emotional charge in a kitchen scene between siblings doesn't have to come from anything explicit. The tension can be built entirely on unspoken words, long silences, or the history that hovers in the air between them. Emotions, like discomfort, longing, regret, or guilt, are far more relatable and impactful when they unfold subtly through body language, dialogue, and memory. These emotions don't need to be stated outright. A character's hesitation to speak, a glance that lingers too long, the avoidance of eye contact, or the act of fidgeting with a spoon while stirring soup can speak volumes about inner turmoil. Realism lies in these details, in what is not said, rather than what is declared loudly. True emotional storytelling trusts the audience to feel what the characters are going through without being told directly. In stories that rely on emotional tension, the history between characters becomes a living, breathing presence. A brother walking into the kitchen while his sister cooks may seem ordinary on the surface, but if they haven't spoken in years, if their last conversation ended in anger or grief, or if one carries the weight of abandonment, then every word becomes loaded. Emotional underlayers give even the simplest of actions, like passing a plate, offering tea, or brushing past one another, the potential to carry meaning. The air feels thicker. The space between them becomes symbolic. Avoiding overt drama allows for a more honest portrayal of the human experience. Life is rarely composed of explosive moments. More often, it's shaped by the quiet aches, the small moments of hesitation, the pauses before confession. The reader should feel like they've stepped into a lived-in moment, not a staged scene. When emotional tension is internal and layered, it invites empathy. It also encourages reflection. The audience may find themselves thinking of someone they haven't spoken to, a wound they haven't acknowledged, or a memory they hadn't realized still hurts. That's where the power of emotional realism truly lies. Atmosphere and imagery are essential tools for immersing the reader in a scene, particularly when the story leans on subtle emotional dynamics rather than overt action. A kitchen isn't just a room. It becomes a vessel for memory, conflict, and quiet connection when described vividly. The clinking of a spoon against a ceramic bowl, the slow hiss of something simmering on the stove, the smell of garlic clinging to clothes and walls. These details allow readers to feel like they are standing inside the moment. When done effectively, imagery engages more than just sight. It involves touch, sound, scent, and even emotional temperature. A faint breeze through a half-open window might carry the sound of distant traffic or a child's laughter, both anchoring the setting in reality and mirroring a character's internal state. Light plays a crucial role in shaping mood. The dim yellow wash of a late afternoon sun through sheer curtains can create a nostalgic, melancholic tone, while the stark white glare of overhead kitchen lights can emphasize discomfort or emotional exposure. The way shadows fall across a sibling's face during an uncomfortable conversation can reveal more than their words ever could. Even the details of the space, chipped tiles, a crooked picture frame, dust on an unused chair, speak to time. Passing, to neglect, to change, or to memories that have long settled into the fabric of the home. The physical space echoes the emotional space between characters, and the reader feels that resonance. The weather outside can serve as a natural extension of mood. Rain becomes a metaphor for cleansing or sorrow. The sharp sound of wind through trees might heighten feelings of isolation or tension. In contrast, stillness, the complete lack of outside noise, can draw attention to what's left unsaid. Between two people, the smallest sounds within the room become amplified: the creak of a chair, the scrape of a fingernail along the countertop, a breath held too long. These sonic elements build tension quietly, but effectively. Instead of telling the reader that a character is anxious, let them feel it through the setting. How they grip the edge of the sink, the way their eyes flick to the clock repeatedly, or how they stir a pot with unnecessary force. Through atmospheric and sensory-rich writing, emotion becomes tangible, immersive, and alive. Family dynamics are complex, layered with years of shared history, silent expectations, buried resentments, and moments of unspoken affection. In a story that revolves around siblings being alone in a familiar space like the kitchen, the weight of that shared past can become the unspoken third presence in the room. What is left unsaid between family members often carries more emotional weight than what is spoken aloud. A brother and sister might exchange casual words about food or chores, but beneath that surface conversation lies a history of rivalry, protectiveness, disappointment, or even unresolved grief. These dynamics evolve over time, shaped by childhood experiences, parental influence, and life paths that have drifted apart. Childhood memories can rise suddenly, triggered by a smell, a familiar routine, or an object from the past. A worn-out dish towel might remind them of mornings when they cooked together as kids. An old magnet on the fridge might still hold up a faded drawing from when they were small. These small, ordinary details become emotionally charged when viewed through the lens of time. The kitchen becomes a place of reckoning, not just for practical tasks, but for emotional memories that haven't been processed. A seemingly innocent comment like, "You still make it like Mom used to," can stir up longing, guilt, or resistance. The way one sibling avoids eye contact or chooses to stand rather than sit could stem from years of emotional imbalance or unresolved tension. There's also the element of roles, the ones assigned in childhood and the ones adopted in adulthood. Maybe one sibling was always the caretaker, the other the wanderer. Maybe one left when things got hard, and the other stayed to carry the family weight. These roles often linger long after people grow up, influencing how they interact even in mundane settings. The kitchen, once a place of shared laughter or sibling bickering, might now feel like neutral ground, or a battlefield. Small gestures take on larger meaning. Offering a cup of tea can be an olive branch. Refusing one can be a quiet act of defiance. Unspoken histories live in the pauses, in the glances, in the physical proximity or distance between the siblings. Family dynamics aren't always loud or obvious. They unfold slowly, shaped by everything that's been said and all that's been withheld.